A lot can go wrong with movie adaptations, but I think even if I weren't a fan of this movie, I'd still believe that this is a complete waste of my time. Hi, this is Jelly, and I'm going to be counting down my top 5 reasons why I think people, such as myself, hate the movie The Last Airbender. Wait, before I continue, by the way, I am a huge Avatar The Last Airbender fan, so I might get a little biased with this, with all my comments, but I swear that I will try my best to be objective with this. And I'd also like to say sorry if I get a little rantish, because you can't blame me, I'm a fan, okay? Spoiler alert for those who want to watch the series. I might mention a few plot points that might spoil the whole series, but I don't care if you plan to watch the Last Airbender movie, because it won't really affect your movie experience. I think the movie will speak for itself. Okay, so without further ado, let's get it on! Number 5, bad production. Look, I'm not a real movie critic here, but even I can tell that the whole production of this movie is bad. The casting is bad, the directing is bad, the camera shots and the cinematography are meh, and the actors are cringeworthy. I don't even need to know where this freaking movie was based from. I can outright tell that the movie is crappy because of how poorly it was made and edited. The actors' lines were so monotonous, the casting is obviously whitewashed, and there were a lot of awkward and probably unnecessary close-up shots. I mean, maybe the girl who played Bella Swan was a much better actor than any of these children. Well, maybe not all of them were bad in acting. I mean, the one who played Zuko and the one who played Iroh, well, did their best for the roles. And I get that the budget for CGI animation to bring this whole 2D series to life would be really limited, I guess, but the least that this production can do is to give justice to the source material, but they unfortunately did not seem to make an effort. Number 4, they strayed from main canon. Now, in the series, the wise General Iroh has countlessly pointed out how there is a balance between all 4 elements. Earth being hard and stubborn, water being flexible and calm, air being carefree and go with the wind, and fire being the passionate kind. These 4 elements work together in harmony, and the Avatar, which is the master of all the elements and the great bridge between the human world and the spirit world, works to keep balance and peace. Now, this is the main canon that unfortunately the adaptation has not given justice to. First off, the way people bend is wrong, and even more so the concept of bending itself. Benders can bend the elements that are around them. Like in the series where Katara used her own sweat to make water that she can bend, or how Kana used the water in the air and the water from basically all living things and created blood bending, or the way that Toph made metal bending from the earth that is in the condensed form, which is metal. So in short, benders can bend the elements that are present around them, whether it is obvious or not. Now, this is why I question why in the movie firebenders can only bend fire that is present, and they all need a source of fire to bend. I mean, can't they bend like the oxygen in the air and, you know, heat it up and make fire? Why were they so amazed that Iroh can make fire out of nothing? This, my friends, is problematic to the plot itself, because if firebenders need a source of fire, then how in hell's way were they able to wipe out the air nomads? I mean, wouldn't the air nomads know that, oh, we're being attacked, so you know what? The only way to avoid the attack is to wipe out the source of fire. And no more source of fire. How the hell were they able to wipe out air nomads, right? And yeah, I know Sozin's comet at all, but that's a big plot hole that definitely needs fixing. Okay, and also, this may be petty, but I would at least understand if this adaptation was based on a book or a comic or something, but I really don't get why they changed the pronunciation of some terms and even the names of the main character. Why? It's as if, like, no one on the set has ever watched a series that no one bothered to correct that, by the way, the main character's name is Aang and not Ong. You know, like, no one? Really? Really? No one? Look, if you're planning to make a movie adaptation, at least stick to the main canon. Or else you're just making a fiction piece that is based on the concept of another, which kind of sounds like plagiarism. Isn't that plagiarism? Anyway, moving on. Number 3. Problematic character dynamic. Related to the previous point, even the main characters' personalities were compromised in the movie, which would leave a big question mark for the next sequels, if they plan to do anything more. Work. The series did such a great job in balancing out the character personalities that it's really hard to make a movie based on it and not adapt their personalities. It just won't work. Say for example how Sokka in the movie was the responsible one. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're being biased again. I know, okay, but hear me out. The reason I'm saying this is because if they do choose to continue with the sequels, the character dynamic just won't work. If Sokka was the responsible one in the team, that would leave no room for Katara to be the motherly one or the responsible one. That'll just basically make her the younger sister who's bratty and spoiled and just wants to get something done because she wants to. The Katara in this series leads the group based on what needs to be done because she feels that it's the thing that needs to be done. She's motherly. She's caring for the group. If Sokka's the responsible one, then that just leaves her to be the younger sister. And Aang is a well-loved character in this series because we got to see him grow as a character since he really is just a 12-year-old air nomad who's bothered with the fate of the world in the palm of his hands. But in the movie, he is just a 12-year-old avatar who doesn't know what he's doing. And he's really stressed and serious about it. Don't get me wrong, Aang got serious and really stressed out, the point of nightmares and daydreams and blah blah blah. But in the series, he was made to develop. And even Zhao, by the way, the antagonist Zhao, was not given justice here because in the movie, he just seemed like a puppet for the Fire Lord. When in the series, he actually has a mind of his own and quite frankly lost his mind just trying to get the glory of being the spirit slayer and all. Okay, I understand there's only so much room for character development in a content heavy, 2-hour movie, but hey, some movies can still pull off character development, so why can't this? Especially when the source material demands it. Without it, Aang just seems douchey to just ditch the world when it needed him most. I mean, yes, Aang explained it in the movie, but it wouldn't really hurt to make the audience feel the struggle too, right? But I'm getting ahead of myself. I guess we have to move on to number 2. Narration and exposition heavy. One of the greatest mistakes of this adaptation is that it crammed the whole 20 episodes of Book 1 into one to our movie. This series is admittedly context heavy because it's a fantasy fiction piece. It needs to introduce to the real world what kind of world the Avatar lives in. And I know the writers and the directors mean well in putting as much of the context in to make the adaptation really link to the source material and to put context to the actions and premises for the plot to move forward. But if it's the real intention, then they might have just made the airtime longer, or maybe cut the whole 20 seasons into 2 movies. Because their way of putting the whole season together is to make it narration and exposition heavy, so much that I practically drowned in monologues and dialogues that explain everything and give context one way or another to the actions or why whatever's happening is happening. I mean, my goodness, they butchered the opening voiceover. And the following narrations, I swear, I question why they even bother to show visuals when there's practically no point in them. And by the way, I can't believe that they simply breezed through one of the greatest romances in the series, which is that of Sokka and Yue. With this, I leave but one golden rule for all writers out there to learn from this mistake, and that is show, don't tell. And finally, number 1. They replaced Koizilla with a 2-minute display of an upside-down waterfall. I have to say, this is my biggest pet peeve of the movie. Yeah, I know. Biased. But come on, okay? Riddle me this. Why did the movie even bother to build up the character of the Avatar as the main protagonist when in the end, I'd have to say the real hero is Princess Yue? And all Aang did was to make a wall of water. To what, you may ask? To scare the firebenders. I swear the last part of the movie is my biggest question mark of all. This is where firebenders are complete cowards who are stupid enough to move towards the tsunami instead of away from it, where waterbenders are dark af when they lift Zhao in a big water ball until he drowned to death, and where the Avatar might as well have just watched the whole fight scenes all around him and wait till the moon was back on and watch the waterbenders win the battle on their own. Plus, I was really looking forward to Koizilla. But, all kidding aside, this is the biggest plot hole I've ever seen yet, because this just makes a crappy ending of throwing away whatever little main character development they had just to make their main character do nothing in the end. I mean, he could have, like the series, pushed all of the ships away with the big wave that he did, but no. The firebenders just turn around in fear of the wall of water. Although, what if in the movie, firebenders are afraid of walls somehow? Maybe that's why they weren't able to conquer Ba Sing Se or the Northern Water Tribe. But even so, that would be a hard plot hole to cover. So, to sum up, this movie is a complete waste of time because it's very poorly made and an even more disgrace to the material that it adapted from. Overall, I give this movie 2 thumbs down. But I do recommend to you guys to watch the series version of it because it would be more worthy to watch than its movie counterpart. I'm definitely sure you'll enjoy it. And that's all the time I have for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching!